Steph, through the weekend and maybe even into next week.
Oh, yeah, definitely into next week. It looks like that's when it would really develop. But what's going to cause it to develop? Well, essentially, the boundary that we've been talking about moving through the Midwest, the Northeast, the Southeast yesterday, that's going to drop southbound. And that's really low pressure. The pressure drops as you get down to this boundary, and then it goes, and then it changes once you cross over it. But it really is, you can think of it as like elongated low pressure, and sometimes they can spin up low pressures, and that's when we could get a depression, maybe a subtropical depression, which would mean nothing different to you. It'd just be a technicality that is not fully tropically it doesn't have all the tropical characteristics that we need to call it a TD versus a subtropical TD. Heavy rain in Florida, also off the southeast coast. And we will see the potential for this development over the next 7 days. There's a 40% chance of development for us, though the European has it a bit higher here, going 60, even 70% chance of development over the next 10 days. Now, again, it still could just be a tropical depression and could kind of be a nothing burger with not loads of rain, or it could really intensify. So now's the time really to prepare. I know you're getting ready for the 4th of July, but maybe just start thinking about hurricane season. Do you have your supplies, your insurance, all that sort of stuff? Water temperatures are in the 80s, so it's plenty warm for that. If it becomes a tropical storm, it'd be named Chantal. But right now, the thoughts are tropical depression, maybe subtropical depression. And we do see systems form off the southeast coast this time of year. There's our boundary that's going to come down. You can see it there. Then we also just have some upper level energy. As this all comes together on Thursday, you'll start to see this is the trophy area. Do we get this to spin into a low pressure and push back west as we head into our Sunday, Monday timeframe? That would be it. But notice it's not very well organized and compact. Same thing with the GFS starting off. Let's again go forward here as we get into our Thursday. This is where that energy is located. But notice it's going to start to come together and then push back and then go up the coast Sunday into our Monday. So both models are picking up on a little something, but what will actually develop, still time will tell. Regardless of all that, we have a lot of moisture. Notice the oranges and the red. Look how we clear out in the southeast, by the way. Our dew point temperatures are going to be a little bit lower, but all this moisture is going to keep things wet in Florida and then potentially into the Carolinas as well. But I'll say Thursday, Friday in the southeast are looking really good, again, with the exception of Florida, where we're going to get 3 to 5, maybe 5 to 8 inches of rain. Great news, because it's super dry here and we could wipe out the drought, especially on the West Coast. We have the most extreme here in the Southeast Coast. But Reynolds, we have had day after day after day of storm. So rainy season is rainy seasoning, if you will. And I think we'll make a dent in this drought.
Rainy seasoning, absolutely.
It's rainy seasoning.
Hey,
we do have to deal with the rain that comes with that.
Back to where we should be here. It's time for a road trip for America's 249th birthday celebration. If you're traveling by car today, overall, the best time to travel is noon to 9 p.m. Do you guys have any games that you play in the car with your kids?
Yeah, the silent game. Doesn't last very long.
Popeye used to be one, and we used to play all 50 states.
Right, where you have to name you have to see the license plate.
States. Yep.
Yep. There was also the VW bugs.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
When you saw one, you would knock your sibling. I'm trying to think of the other games. Oh, I did see somebody once do a car. Like they just cut out a car from a big piece of paper and they taped it up on like above the front windshield there, and they would move the car so the kids wouldn't be like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? They would know how far they were. So that's
a good idea.
Yeah, it was a cute idea. It was really, really cute.
There you go.
But if you are traveling by car, you're going to hope that air conditioning is working, because it is hot across the country, with the exception of the West, where we do have trophy coming in. That keeps us below average the next couple of days. Phoenix, though, of course, is going to be on the warm side. New Orleans on the warm side, where we have fireworks over the Mississippi River synchronized to patriotic music. No problems flying or driving there. I do think that these yellow will go away, because we are seeing the rain just this morning, and it's not really thunderstormy, it's just rain. So I don't think travel is going to be like it was yesterday, which was an utter mess along really the entire East Coast with all the different storms that we had. Little energy coming to the Northeast for our Thursday. It stays stormy into Florida, and then we really focus in on the West, where we start to see some thunderstorms develop as we head through our Friday. So July 4th is going to be tough there. Dallas, we have the Fair Park 4th food truck, music, and fireworks going on. Unfortunately, that's where we could see a little bit of rain here, Reynolds, with 86 degrees.
There you go. Again, got to hold the umbrella.
That can happen, but Had never seen it. So there are the storms that are off Palm Beach. And so that's where we are. That's what we are seeing in that radar. And we're going to see a lot more of these as we head throughout the day and really throughout the coming days for us. There's a look at Alligator Alley with a few showers and thunderstorms crossing over. Also, as you look down towards the Keys, a lot of lightning with these two, a lot of lightning with these. That's why that boat, get out of the water. So many lightning strikes and deaths happen when people are boating because you have nowhere to go and you're the tallest point. So you have to keep that in mind. Overall, things are kind of quiet right now. But they're going to be active this afternoon and then active through the holiday weekend. We do have a 40% chance of development over the next 7 days. The Euro has our chances a little bit higher here for development of a tropical depression. Now it goes tropical depression, tropical storm. That's when it would get a name. If it was a tropical storm, it would be Chantal. That's the next name on our list. Yes, we've already had Andrea and Barry. And the waters are plenty warm for that. We could see a tropical depression or maybe subtropical depression. The terminology doesn't matter. That's just for us meteorologists, for technicalities. But essentially, a tropical versus subtropical depression, you're not going to know the difference. One just doesn't have all the tropical characteristics, which we can get into another time. But they essentially present the same for you, but it's just a meteorological thing. There's a look at where we typically see July development going back to 1950, and we get it, the Gulf, the Atlantic, and all the way out into the Atlantic. This is the boundary we've been talking about. Here's some upper level energy we've been dealing with. Watch it start to come together, especially as we head into our Thursday off the southeast coast. Then as we head into the weekend, what do we have here? But notice it's kind of stretched out. Models don't have a lot of moisture with it, but could we still have maybe low pressure enough at the surface for this to be considered a TD? GFS, there's your boundary, there's the upper level. That it is. And on Friday in Kansas City, we got the sunshine for the 249th birthday of America and all the celebrations that will be going on. So if you're doing any driving for that, the worst times to travel today, basically the whole day. Noon until 9. If you're watching us now, get on the road because it's just going to get worse, as you know. Not only today, but tomorrow is going to be pretty rough if you are doing any traveling. So keep that in mind. Now, how about if you are traveling from the airports? Well, good thing is the Northeast is clearing out. So I think today will be a lot better for us. Places like New Orleans, we're fine if you're traveling in for the 4th of July fireworks over in Mississippi. They synchronize them to patriotic music. There's also the Essence Festival of Culture, July 3rd through July 6th. A lot of places have festivals ongoing. Dallas, we've got the cloud cover, but there is Fair Park 4th. They have food trucks, music, fireworks. That is on the 4th when, unfortunately, those clouds are going to be changing into some rain. But I do think travel tomorrow, at least, should be pretty okay. On the actual 4th, there's the showers into Dallas. Sunshine in Seattle for the Seafair at Lake Union Park. We have food trucks, music, fireworks, cruise on Lake Union. Much of the country is pretty okay with the exception of the Plains and Florida. Otherwise, it's hot. We're 10 degrees above average around the Great Lakes. And it's looking green means go here across the board for our 4th. Some clouds, though, Reynolds, in the center of the country. As long as they're not low clouds, then everything will be okay. If they're low, they obscure the fireworks.
So true.
Or the drone show.
There you go.
We're going to be flowing in Florida. Rain is going to be nonstop flowing for us here. We need it, though. We could use some of this rain as we are below average. Miami, 5.72 inches. We're down 2.5 in Tampa. Notice Orlando and Jacksonville, we're down a little bit. Gainesville's down a bit as well. But Tallahassee's up. It's really that panhandle area that is up, with the exception of getting over into Jax there. But we could wipe out this drought with this one fell swoop that we have because we have rain. This is through Monday. 3 inches of rain in Gainesville. We could wipe out our drought, which is 2.8 inches. No problem. And it's not just Gainesville. We're going to see it in Cedar Key, Lake City, Apalachicola, Jacksonville, going down 75 as well. Very boring drive from Gainesville down to South Florida, taking about 4 hours or so. And it could slow you down if you're running into these showers and thunderstorms. Though it does help with the bugs that all accumulate on your window. It'll be nice to get some of this rain, especially if you're out of spray. And you're like me, can't stand when it's all, schmutzed up and you got to spray constantly. I always have to make sure I have a full jug of spray there for your windshield wipers. Friday is the best day with the sunshine. Perfect timing. in Jacksonville. I wonder if they do a boat parade on the St. Johns. I should have looked that up. I know in South Florida they do some boat parades, or they used to when I was a kid. Also around Tampa, I'm sure that people are in their boats doing all this sort of stuff, or even just looking at the fireworks. But rain along that I-4 corridor is going to be tough for us. Sarasota, Bradenton, Siesta Key, which I feel like became popular because it's that TV show. People learned about it. Beautiful place. Showers and thunderstorms are going to continue for us here, not only throughout Central Florida, but South Florida too. So I do think that we're going to have issues with travel here. Airports could be all clogged up in Florida. We're going to have problems with thunderstorms going not only over the airports, but in the flight path, making for delays for us too. Orlando, our temperatures are going to stay about average, which is around 90 degrees for the most part for us here into Florida. Naples, Fort Myers, Alligator Alley, down to Everglades City. It's going to be really wet, and the same as we go to the I-95 corridor as well. Jordan.
All right, let's see how Mother Nature can impact some